Okay, guess it's my turn to do live on stuff that's been going on and whatnot. I will say this before I continue. Some things are going to be disclosed so that other parents that are vulnerable and desperate do not continue to be victimized over and over by other parties that are claiming to be something that they truly are not. 1. 2. Parental discretion may be advisable because a cuss word may slip out here and there. 3. If you do not agree with what I am saying, that is your opinion. Do not attempt to then create debate. As this is my page, I am entitled to my opinion. You can then excuse yourself from my friends list, delete yourself. If you choose to support the actions of this individual or whom this individual works with, please also feel free to delete yourself from my friends list because I will not tolerate it by any means. For a period of time, I was not on Facebook because I was handling my own family court case. And I did not know what had been transpiring among individuals as related to the family rights movement. Let's just call it that. So I was completely outside the loop, didn't know what was going on. Well, eventually I get back on Facebook when things slow down for me, and I see a bunch of posts from different individuals, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Well, I brought myself up to speed, and on my own opinions and my own thoughts, I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this, is actually what's going on. I thought this was only happening to me, and now it just so happens not to be just happening to me. And a few days ago, I seen a post by another person who is on my friends list asking if a gentleman by the name of Martin Lynch is an attorney. At that point in time, I chose not to bite my tongue. Wrong, right, indifferent, it is what it is. This individual, Mr. Lynch, lives in the state of Arizona. And he was involved in my family court case. And I can say this because I will display the emails and this and that. I had followed this person's advice. January 19th happened. It was a shit show, for lack of better terms. I was held in the courthouse for 2.5 hours. Armed guards or bailiffs, whatever you want to call them, they actually work for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Department, held me in the courtroom. I was falsely accused of murdering 2 out of 3 of my children, who were at the time in school, which if the court would have sent law enforcement down to do a welfare check at the children's school, they would have found that they were completely healthy. But the court chose not to act that way. It is what it is. This individual told me that, mine and my children have constitutional rights, exercise them, blah, blah, blah. And I did so. And that backfired. So January 19th happens, and in family court, it's ordered that my 2 kids are taken from me, and that I'm to release custody by 4 p.m. at the Gilbert, Arizona Police Department. And it was just horrible. Well, during the course of the hearing, this individual I had contacted said, oh my God, this is what they're accusing me of. I'm being accused of murdering my children, and there's been no murder. They're at school. Please come down here and help. They're like, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. Well, this person, when I contacted him, he thought it was funny, and he laughed and said, oh yeah, I'm just gonna stop by, you know, in a little bit, and this and that. Well, lo and behold, you know, he never showed up. I actually have emails to the liaison for the state of Arizona, saying, who is apparently in the same courthouse as I was, and I'm saying, A, I'm being detained against my will for a crime that never even occurred. Help? And it was just a mess. Well, okay. Eventually I get out of the courthouse, and this gentleman in the state of Arizona proceeds to call me and laugh about it and say, oh, well, you just have to laugh it off. I'm going to say right now, any man or woman that's held in a courtroom with armed guards being accused of murder when no such crime ever occurred is not going to laugh it off. So, well, I ended up releasing the kids to the police department at 4 p.m. and this and that. I was completely emotionally devastated. A couple days later, I had a follow-up hearing to find out whether or not I complied with the court's orders. This gentleman showed up there and once again thought it was funny. Did court watch, actually talked crap to the best interest attorney, who is shady, yes, but it is what it is. It didn't help my case. So, okay, being emotionally devastated and everything, I could not function. I could not even think. I could not stop crying. I could not get out of bed for 2 weeks. Nothing. This person said, well, they would help me with an appeal. And at that point, I'm desperate, so I said, yes, please. Well, then this individual says, well, we need to file this in your family court case. We need to file that in your family court case. We need to file every couple of days, 2 to 3 times a week, and inundate them with documents and court filings and this and that, and it'll fluster the judge, and it'll fluster the child best interest attorney, and they'll be so tired of dealing with you that they'll just send the kids home and just say, get out of the courtroom. Well, being naive and thinking that not all people out there would want to swindle me, I followed this person's instructions. So anyways, the other day I ran across the Facebook post asking whether or not this person is in fact an attorney. Well, I'm sorry to say it, but this person is not an attorney. If you follow his advice, please understand that it will be detrimental to your case. Only follow his advice if you never want to see your kids again, because I speak from experience. I followed this person's advice, and I have never seen my kids again. So, I'm going to show you what happened. The person became involved in my case, said that they were part of the father's rights movement here in Arizona, and also help mothers who are victimized by the court system, and court-appointed individuals such as best interest attorneys and this and that. I took his word for it. I did not think that this person had malice in their heart or anything else. So these are the emails where in February On the 14th, I was sent. It's just one of the emails. I have hundreds split between two email accounts where this person typed up criminal charges for shyster, notice of bar complaint, and says enjoy. And it was sent to me. Also, another individual was CC'd in the email, knew about what was going on in my case, and actually supported Mr. Lynch in what he typed up. And, sorry, this is kind of emotional to relive this. Supported Mr. Lynch in what he typed up. Well, what he typed up was this. Do not do this in your case. Don't do it. No matter what they say, no matter how desperate you are. I know parents love their kids. They're in a bad situation. They're fighting. They don't know what to do. Don't follow this. So this person typed up in my case, motion to prefer criminal charges to law enforcement regarding State Bar Complaint 18-02-83, Timothy V. Nelson, professional misconduct per ethical rules violation 8.4 et al. And perjury per ARS 13-2702, Section A, subsection 2, Class 4 felony. Now this person, and it is my fault for following this person's advice, but at the same time, I emotionally was not in my right mind. So this person goes on to call the child best interest attorney, shyster, per Black's Law, 10th edition, page 1591. And some other things. There are other filings where he refers to this child best interest attorney as the court's stormtrooper, as in reference to Star Wars. Like an idiot, I filed it. Because, mind you, the judge had always been biased, already told a former attorney that she didn't like me. Nothing that I had filed that was written immaculately was working. This gentleman says, well, try this, but you got to go all the way with it. You'll get results, this and that. Oh, yeah, I got results. I got results. Because I filed it in my case, along with a bunch of other stupid stuff that he told me to do. So, here's a proof that I filed it in my case. I'm sorry, but this Martin Lynch is a bastard. Like, he is. So, this is the court's ruling on what I filed per his writings. Let me get to it because I have electronic court record online. So, this ruling came in February 27th. Mind you, I filed this February 14th. The ruling came in February 7th through electronic minute entry. And where it strictly cites right here, yeah, Randy, it's, oh my God. So it says, it is further ordered, motion to prefer criminal charges to enforcement regarding bar complaint 1802-93. Mind you, I just showed it to you in the email. Timothy V. Nelson, professional misconduct per ethical rules violations 8.4 et al. And perjury per ARS 13-2702, a subsection 2, class 4 felony is denied. This is what the court further said about what I filed that he told me to file. And like an idiot, I followed it. The court takes no action on mother's notice to the court concerning notice filed 213-18 and petitioner mother's notice to the court affidavit of offenses committed, as these filings simply appear to provide information to the court but do not ask for any relief available to the court. Oh, here it is. Sorry. This is a list of stuff that I filed. On February 16th, 2018, mother filed the following items. Motion to dismiss murder charges and to order psych eval new evidence. Motion to prefer criminal charges to enforcement, bar complaint 18-0293, professional misconduct, blah, blah, blah. Mother's notice to the court concerning notice filed 213-18, and petitioner mother's notice to the court affidavit of offenses committed. Mother's filings are convoluted at best. So because I followed this person, what they told me to do, it caused damage to my case. Where the court says these filings are convoluted at best. But yet, this person is being depicted by a particular group as being an attorney. He is not an attorney, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so we'll just go back to here. This is what he had me file. Motion to prefer, and he wrote it. Shyster and every single thing. Okay, so Arizona has a thing called the State Bar of Arizona, and you go to the public. Oh my God. And you go to find a lawyer. This is why in that thread, this person did not want to supply a copy. Oh my God. This person did not want to file a copy or show anything related to their state bar. Alleged state bar license. So you type in Martin. You type in Lynch. Oh, it's already in there. Then search for a lawyer. No attorneys. He's not licensed with the state of Arizona. He has no bar membership. He's a fucking liar. He's a fucking liar. He was involved in my case. So after they took the kids, it took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks to even go out to the car to remove my son's laptop. In my son's laptop, I found his suicide note. I didn't know what to do. So here I'm not allowed, because of all this crap that I followed for advice from an attorney that's not really an attorney. I have no contact with my kids. I find a suicide note. I freak out, not knowing what to do. I sent him a copy of it. He thought it was fucking funny. That my son wrote that if he's not home soon, he's going to drink 16 ounces of bleach. Then he says, well, I'll call you back later. So he calls me later that night. And mind you, this is back in February. And he says, well, he did research on whether or not you can die from drinking bleach. And he says, it's not lethal. The worst thing that could be done, or that could happen, is that the esophagus gets burnt, or he also inhales it into his lungs when he goes to drink it, and then it could burn his lung tissue and send him into cardiac arrest. Oh, but that's the worst thing that could happen. Like I said, anybody supporting this motherfucker, get the fuck off my Facebook. If you support this motherfucker in this group who's depicting him as an attorney when he's not, get the fuck off my Facebook. Save me the trouble of doing it. Because this is bullshit. I went to other people that supposedly, at that time, being dumb, claim to know what they're talking about. They're not licensed attorneys either. Oh yeah, that's wrong. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to listen. I never recovered from following that person's advice. Ever. Like, at all. I lost my family court case. I now have to go into the Court of Appeals. Back in February, when they took the kids, I attempted to appeal it. I asked this person if they would help me with the appeal, and they had offered. So I said, I'm taking you up on that offer, because I had never done an appeal. I've never been in the appeals court before at that point. This person would call me, chat about stupid crap regarding Boeing and aerospace, but drug it out until the last minutes for an appeal. So I said, screw this, I'm not waiting around for this guy. And I turned around, I gotta plug my phone in, and I turned around and I filed an appeal. I also filed a Judicial Oversight Committee complaint, among other things. So I did all that. He didn't know about it. I didn't say anything. I just started going to try to recover from the damage that had been done. So he calls me and he tells me, well, so-and-so, which is on, this person is on, let's just say, a Facebook Live group twice a week concerning legal stuff. So this person calls me, Mr. Lynch, whatever you want to call it, the asshole. He calls me and he says, oh, well, so-and-so, I conferred with them. They know about the case. They've got copies of the documents. And they say, yeah, you've been fucked over. Your rights have been violated, due process, color of law, false imprisonment, a whole bunch of stuff. And they said we should probably file an appeal. So I said, well, I'm already ahead of the game on that. I filed an appeal. Then he turns around and says, well, they also said we should file a Judicial Oversight Committee complaint. I said, I already just did that. It went out 2 weeks ago. Or whatever. However long ago. I don't really remember. So he gets mad at me because I said this and he actually verbatim told me, before you do anything else in your case, you need to run it past me first. And I thought to myself, what the hell is this about? This is crazy. Why do I need to ask him for permission to file something in my own case? So, okay. I also had filed a federal lawsuit. And in the state of Arizona, the federal court said that I needed to file an amended complaint because I didn't number my paragraphs and I didn't state a cause of action or violations under state color of law. So I didn't understand what they meant by state color of law. I just know about color of law. I didn't know, what they meant by state color of law. So okay, let me see. Oh, I'd have to open it up, Randy. So when I filed the federal lawsuit, they said, well, you didn't number your paragraphs, you didn't state how the violations occurred under state color of law. So I sent an email to Lynch saying, can you break this down to me? I'm just not understanding what state color of law means. So he calls me, he kind of chews on my ass and blows me off. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? So he had a copy of my federal lawsuit, the original filing that I filed back in December of 2017, and he had asked me questions of who certain people that I listed in the lawsuit were. In the lawsuit, now granted, I kept Youngman as my last name after the divorce. I didn't change my last name back to my maiden name. It was a personal choice. It was what it was. The kids all had Youngman as their last name, so I just kept it the same, not to run into stupid stuff, whatever. So during the marriage, my now ex-husband, had an aunt by marriage that worked for the Arizona Department of Child Safety. At the time that we were married, I never knew what she did for a living. They never told me. Even when we visited, they never said anything. So she had interfered during the juvenile dependency case on behalf of my ex-husband, which is a procedure policy violation. And I listed her in December as a defendant in my case. And her name's Karen Kiegowitz Youngman. Okay, I'm going to show you something. I did not know this. He had a copy of this complaint. I don't want to show my password. So, Mr. Lynch, and I didn't find this out until well after I had discovered that he wasn't on the up and up, and by then the damage was done. So I went trolling because I couldn't figure out what was the motivation behind this. It wasn't just this group with the fake advocacy thing. Okay, so here's Lynch's Facebook. The one that claims that he is an attorney or is a professor of constitutional law. He's not nothing. You can't be a professor without certification. Well, guess what? We're just going to go into his friends list. So, Karen Kiegowitz Youngman is one of the defendants that I listed in my lawsuit. She has a son. Fucking dude was... He was playing both sides of the field. He was helping my ex on top of playing me. Because here is the son of one of the individuals I was suing in my federal lawsuit. Okay, there's Marty on his Facebook. Karen. And here's his mother, the defendant in my fucking federal lawsuit. Karen. I'm not the only one that's attempted to sue Karen. Lorraine Patterson is friends with Marty. Well, guess what, Lorraine? Marty's friends with Troy, who's the son of Karen, the DCS caseworker that said that your daughter should be part of prostitution and a whole bunch of other stuff, and that you're a bad mom for not allowing them to be on drugs and in a prostitution ring. There you go. He's helping the other side. He's helping the other side. It's crazy. It's absolutely freaking nuts. Now I get to start all over in my case. In the meantime, I don't get to see my kids because now I'm being parental alienated. And there's the proof of that. I don't want to show his phone number. I'm not going to show the other parents. I got to log out of my Jesse James account. Yeah, I have multiple email accounts. A couple of weeks ago, or no, 2 days ago, somebody tried to hack my Yahoo account. I've been getting blocked phone numbers. Calls, no voicemail, no nothing. I've gotten spoof text messages sent from the internet. So, yesterday, according to the court order, every Friday I have to send a text message saying that I'm exercising my paid-for supervised visits with a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 13-year-old. This person says, "Oh well, the kids say they don't want to see you." So I tell the other parent, "There's no evidence in support that they're claiming this or in support of your claims." I did not argue with this person. Okay. Oops. Wrong one. I forget when I screenshot it and I send it to the other person and then I send it to myself. So I always send the same thing. Per judicial order filed on 7/3/2018, I'm exercising my right to visitation with Alex Amber only at her discretion in Alley on Sunday, July 29th, 2018, as I was denied visitation for July 8th, July 15th, and 22nd in violation of the above mentioned judicial order. That's all I ever said. So I sent the same thing yesterday, exactly the same thing. This person comes at, the other parent comes at me, because see, there's what I write. The other parent comes at me with stupid crap, saying they don't want to visit, but when they're ready, you need to find an agency on this side of town. That's not what the judicial order says. So I said, just for your reference, in the order, it explicitly states that it has to be HRT, Parenting Skills Program, located in Tempe, Arizona, and I list the address. Tempe, Arizona, 2131 East Broadway, Suite 14, Tempe, Arizona. Therefore, if you have, and I went on to say, therefore, if you have an issue with the location, you should address that with the court. And you know what? That's not wrong to say. Because I'm going to tell you why. I'm not the court. I cannot alter or amend the judicial order. The only one that can do that is the court. Hopefully the appeals court will do that. So he says, yeah, I think they sent me a copy too. Just for your reference, they don't want to see you. Oh, 1 minute they kind of do, but I need to find a place over there. And the next minute, they just absolutely don't want to because I say, no, the court order says here. Now, the reason why I'm saying the court order says here is not only does the court order say that, but that particular agency sends reports to the court regarding the kids' statements, regarding what goes on during these supervised visits that I have to pay for. And he knows that. So I said, there's no evidence in support of your claim regarding this. Have a pleasant rest of your day. And I ended it. I'm not going to argue with him. I'm done arguing with stupid. So he goes on to say, they have all expressed it verbally. Don't tell me what to do. What the fuck? I say, have a pleasant rest of your day, and I'm supposedly telling him what to do. This is the amount of stupid that I've had to deal with. Along with Marty Lynch, who helped a person fraudulently get the kids with the court's assistance, where there's domestic violence going on over in that house, because I done got the police report for that. The kids are getting high. That's in the court-appointed advisor's report. I can't even make that up. It's in the report, page 7, paragraph 2. The kids are getting high. I can't believe this shit. No matter what, anybody saying they're a lawyer, they have the right to give legal advice, if they cannot produce you with a state bar license number for the state, whatever state it's in, fucking run. Do not give these people money. They have no clue what they're doing. They have no business giving legal advice. You can give advice one-on-one and say, well, if I was in your situation, I would do this, I would do that. But that's just me. You can direct a person where to find the proper forms. You cannot give legal advice unless you're an attorney, and you cannot write legal documents unless you're an attorney or a legal assistant. And in either case, you have to be licensed and or certified. You have to be certified in the state of Arizona to be a document preparer. Don't do it. If you want to be in your kids' lives, don't follow these people's advice. They'll fuck your world up. You will never see your kids again. And yet this person claims, oh, well, his ex-wife alienated him from his son and blah, blah, blah. I don't even think that's true. And if that is true, why would you do that to any other parent knowing that pain? Why would you fucking do that? Unless you're sick. You're sick. That group is sick. I'm still not even emotionally recovered. It took me fucking 4 months to just go into my kids' rooms. I could not go to my kids' rooms. Then this person says on this thread at the post of the other day that was made by somebody else, oh, I have no malice, but all of a sudden these people hate me. You know what? I don't hate you, but I sure as fuck would not cry if you got run over by a bus while crossing the street. That's how I feel. But you don't got to take my word for it. I can post the court order. I can post the screenshots. I can post the emails. I can show the individuals that were CC'd and fueling this nut